So let's talk about how seed oils may cause heart disease. So this is based on my publication on linoleic acid and the oxidized linoleic acid hypothesis to heart disease. And it's a hypothesis because it's extremely hard to definitively prove something. But essentially, you have the Minnesota coronary experiment, which is basically the best performed study ever on seed oils because it was an inpatient study. So they gave all the foods and basically they could be completely monitored to make sure what they were consuming was actually what they were consuming. And on autopsy, people consuming seed oils had twice as many, at least one heart attack compared to those eating more animal fat. So that was a hint that seed oils may actually increase the risk of heart disease. But we need more studies to definitively prove this. That one study isn't enough to definitively prove it. But I had published a paper that talked about how this kind of works. So basically, this is considered your bad cholesterol. Cholesterol is packaged inside lipoproteins. It can't freely float around in the blood. And so this is considered the bad cholesterol, LDL. But it's really when you eat seed oils, they're high in something called omega-6 fats, particularly linoleic acid. So the more omega-6 you consume from seed oils, the more all your lipoproteins will increase in linoleic acid. And when these lipoproteins oxidize, it's the linoleic acid that is oxidizing. That is how we actually measure oxidized linoleic LDL particles, is through the oxidation products of linoleic acid. So the more these lipoproteins become more susceptible to oxidation when they are higher in linoleic acid. And the more seed oils you eat, the higher your lipoproteins are in linoleic acid. So these lipoproteins can become partially oxidized from enzymes on the actual, this is your endothelium. It can partially, 15 LOX and 12/15 LOX can actually oxidize the linoleic acid in LDL and partially oxidize it. And you also have lipoprotein lipase secreted from endothelial cells that can lead to increase in linoleic acid free fatty acids from chylomicrons in LDL, which can actually damage the endothelium, these linoleic acid free fatty acids. You also get linoleic acid oxidation as well. These 13 HODIs, 9 HODIs, these are linoleic acid oxidation products, these basically lipid peroxidation products. These actually damage the endothelium as well. So when you oxidize linoleic acid, the oxidized linoleic acid metabolites can actually damage the endothelium. And that's how you get more penetration of LDL particles. Now, just because LDL gets into, this is where most of the oxidation though are full oxidations, right? Then I said these are partial oxidation. Most full oxidation of LDL occurs under in the subendothelium, okay? But not all particles, LDL particles that get into the endothelium oxidize. Our lymphatic system can clear it. But if it's high in linoleic acid, there's a much higher chance that it will oxidize. So the more seed oils you eat, the more linoleic acid accumulates in your lipoproteins, the more it can oxidize and damage the endothelium. Then once the lipoprotein penetrates, if it's high in linoleic acid, there's a higher chance it will oxidize as well. Once it oxidizes, then your immune cells, your macrophages, want to engulf the LDL, form a foam cell, and create atherosclerotic plaque, which is required to cause heart disease. So this is a much more nuanced discussion on how, quote unquote, LDL causes heart disease. Well, it's actually LDL that has accumulated linoleic acid from seed oils, let's say, as well as VLDL that has accumulated more linoleic acid, how that actually can damage the endothelium and how it makes those lipoproteins more susceptible to oxidation, causing foam cell formation plaque. See, this is a much more nuanced discussion than just saying LDL is bad per se. So we need more research on this, but this is a much more nuanced pathway and discussion and much more in-depth discussion on how seed oils may increase the risk of heart disease.